Hello, hello. How is everybody doing? Game week 24, kind of preview, also planning ahead to the game week 25 and just generally onwards. There's a hell of a lot of FPL and just, general things to discuss over the coming game weeks. I'm joined today by the main man, Mr. Aaron Mathari. How you doing, fella?
Good, very good. Thanks,
And
gents. Thanks for inviting me on today.
we may also be joined by another special guest soon enough, who has some wild card or a wild card reveal for you on stream. So hopefully, if he can pluck up the courage to to join us, then we'll be joined by a fellow FPL player, as I'll put it. So, I mean, just before we were just chatting before we came on that you've got some big plans to discuss. So I'm going to transition straight on over into your team and just talk us through what's going on.
All right. So, I mean, I've got two ideas at the moment, and I do need some advice as well, actually.
Yeah.
So it's quite good that we have this tonight.
Let me just quickly shout out. Sorry, I just want to quickly shout out. We've got a few people just saying hi in the chat, so I'll get through that and then you can explain away. MC Moyes,
Sure.
yo, what's up? Moyes, Patel, hi, how you doing, mate? Vigard, how you doing? Good, thanks. Good to see Green Arrow back in here again. Yo, what's going up? All right, sorry about that. As continue.
Right. So my current plan number one, is to get rid of my three bench players. So Calvert-Lewin, Mitchell, Holding.
Jeez, for this week.
For this week, yeah. So take a -4.
So you've got two
and
free
bench
transfers.
boost.
Solid. Oh, you're gonna
Two
you're
free
gonna
transfers.
BB.
I'm tempted to BB.
Ooh. Let me bring this team up. So you've got Antonio, who's a little bit of a risk, but should play from the sounds of it.
You should, yeah.
Holding against Leeds. Okay, you've got the Bamfords. You don't really want the conflict. So what would the transfers be?
So what I'm looking at is I'm looking at Calvert-Lewin to Watkins or Cavani.
Watkins or
I'm looking at
Cavani? Interesting.
I'm looking at Mitchell to Ben
Benny Me. Yep, solid.
and holding to either Luke Shaw or Wan-Bissaka. And then bench boost with that bench. But I think it's quite a strong bench, even though there's only one game week.
The fact that you get that for the thing is, with my plans, I'm planning on bench boosting for like a 1 game week, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Because I'm in no position to bench boost now. If I want to bench boost for 26, I need to wild card, but I feel like I can get out a good enough team for game week 26 by just making kind of a couple of minus moves. Literally, I think it will take me a -8 to have a team that I'm really comfortable, like kind of going into the double game week with, which I think is like perfectly fine. I've kind of learned taking minuses is a decent thing to do for a double. And then in the future, I also really like the idea of saving the wild card. But that bench boost,
Yeah.
I mean, I can see why you're tempted. The only thing I guess
It's a
is
shame
like,
Calvert-Lewin, was injured this week.
would you bet like if DCL was playing, but is that like would that be like 100%? Yep, I'm bench boosting, like make the true transfers. That's done, sort of thing.
Yeah, that was literally planned, to be honest.
Was that what you were gonna do? Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously now, unfortunately, I took the -4, which is a bit of a pain. But
Yeah, even for the double, I mean, like if it's a -4, that's not only going to give you a bench boost for a double game week, but also gives you like good players or players you want going forward, then I definitely think that's a good idea. Just get through some comments, and I've just heard a little ba-boom, which means I think someone has joined us. Start Antonio or Watkins. Tough one. Watkins is obviously like guaranteed to play. Dave, I think you've got a bit of I'm gonna say hello to you. You're right, Dave. I think you've got a bit of playback.
Oh shit, my bad.
No, that's cool. It's cool. I think Antonio will play. I think he's more likely to do better, but then Watkins, obviously, it's a very tough choice. I think Webster as well, I don't think he's going to play for Brighton, or looks unlikely, so he's a main part of that defence, so Watkins could do really well. Genuinely a 50-50, that might even be a flip of the coin. Game week 24 is so hectic, I'm moving. Yeah, I mean, it's a mad game week. Green Arrow has pressed the wildcard button, get your team down in the chat, Green Arrow, we'll have a discussion about that. I started Watkins and Richarlison. Yeah, I think that's a perfectly fine choice. Calvert-Lewin on the bench. Oh yeah, I think DCL on the bench is the way to play it, and that's what you're doing, isn't it? As
yeah, currently, unless I decide to do this bench boost plan, then he will be sitting on the bench if not though.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like Calvert-Lewin is due to miss the Fulham game and then probably play the City game. And I mean, I wouldn't back him against City, to be honest. The main fixture, the main kind of reason people were transferring him in was for the Fulham game. So yeah, I think I'm definitely going to be benching him. Should I have Pope and Martinez or one of them and a keeper like McCarthy, Guaita or Areola? Yeah, I'm currently not going with Pope this week. That's kind of confirmed. I think I'm going to get Meslier in next week, double game week, and also Lee to have a good kind of game. It's 29. Yeah, I'm looking that far ahead, I know. I mean, it's two very expensive goalkeepers. What I would say is, if you have Pope and Martinez, are you rotating them or are you just going to be playing one every week? It's going to be a headache every week. But then if you have two playing goalkeepers, it will be. I like the idea of kind of Pope and like a Meslier or someone who's definitely playing in 29 because it seems... Yeah, but pick one of Pope and Martinez, I think, and then have a cheaper goalkeeper second. Antonio Watkins at DCL, best to play. Antonio Watkins, I think DCL is confirmed not to play the Fulham game, so you don't want to play him. Rudiger or Ward-Prowse, that's a hell of a comparison. I'm guessing that's who to play out of the two. Do you know who Chelsea play this week? I think they've got a good fixture.
Play Newcastle.
They play Newcastle at home. And Southampton are playing Wolves. I'd probably lean towards Ward-Prowse. I just like playing the attacker more. Wolves have been quite poor of late. But then Rudiger, Chelsea clean sheet wise have been looking really good. So that leads me on to Mr. Dave. How we doing? Hello. Glad you've joined us.
Hello, how's it going?
Good man. So I will bring your team up right now. Talk us through this it looks like it. It's all right. It's all right. Talk us through your thinking with this one, Dave. I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts on your captaincy choice as well.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's just bothering me, to be honest. I can't decide who to put it on.
Yeah.
The fact that you're going for thinking of Fernandes as well, just making it harder. Because I'm thinking it's either way or not. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair to you, I think if I had Gundogan, I would be captaining him. There's just because it's the captaincy's made easy for me this week because I literally don't own anyone. I'm not comfortable captaining a defender, even if they got a double game week, and even if it is City. And then
I'm actually leaning towards Gundogan myself now as well because I hear everyone talking about this.
Yeah,
the defender's not playing both games, and it's just that's making me nervous.
I think Diaz will. So if you're gonna go for one of them, go for Diaz. Stones, I think he probably will. Cancelo's probably the biggest out to play both, but you don't own him, so it doesn't really matter. Talk us through the team then, Dave. You've wildcarded. So what's the thinking behind it, and how are you feeling?
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of mistakes obviously in the team. Obviously, Diane's a bit of a rogue one. But
I think it's a punt for sure. He's definitely in the punt category. But he's looked alright, and you've got the West Brom affiliation.
Of course, I need a Baggies player in there, and he's got a few returns in him. So
yeah, a couple of assists. Scored 2 against Spurs when you had him captained.
Yeah. Obviously, this week he's got Man U, but the weeks after that he's got some good fixtures as well. So a good chance for him to.
Are you thinking of captaining him for the future? Is that something that's going to happen?
I want to, but it's obviously a really stupid thing to do. So maybe I'll try and resist the urge. We'll see.
I know. See how you do. Is there a bench boost on the cards as well, Dave? I know this.
Yeah, definitely. One of the double gaming, definitely bench boost.
I like the dunk pick as well. You're getting ahead of the curve there.
Yeah. What do you think about Shaw, by the way? I wasn't sure about Shaw, but he just seems like the best choice.
Yeah, I mean, all the expected attacking stats, he's like top of them all for defenders. The only thing you've got is like if he has a banging game, like they were 4-0 up at half time against Southampton, and he came off at half time. So that's kind of the only risk you've got there is when they actually are winning and playing well, he's going to be taken off. It's just really not what you want. But he seems like he's getting more and more time in the team. So there's just that inherent rotation risk that you've got to take if you bring him in.
I think if it wasn't him, it would be Rudiger or Rudiger, how do you say it? Which is a bit of I don't know. I've just never really rated him as a player. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, FPL.
No,
if he's got the stats. He's got the stats. But
I like Shaw. The only thing is, if you're planning a bench boost, right? Mitchell, you can't guarantee he's going to play. So that's the only thing I'd say potentially to try and work around is get a player who's playing instead of Mitchell.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. It's just 3.9 mil. So nice.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, if for the potential of playing, there's actually a 3.8 mil Leeds player if you wanted that extra 0.1 mil as well. But Mitchell does have a chance of playing. Let's run through some of the comments.
I guess if I was
go on.
If I was going to upgrade though, it'd have to be a Diagne that'd have to drop, wouldn't it? Probably. So that's the sad thing, and I can't let the man go.
Mm-hmm.
Can't let him go.
Yeah, for sure. Let me bring up my team quickly and discuss what I'll be doing. Maybe get you guys' thoughts as well. So this is how the team lines up in a minute. It's not really going to be how it actually lines up for this game week. DCL will be on the bench. Dyer and Van Aanholt will most likely be going to Diaz and Loughton. So I'll be playing the 4-5-1. Fernandes captain. No Gundogan could definitely hurt me this week. I'll be kind of sitting there praying that he does nothing, hiding away, and with Bamford leading the line, probably the sole striker up front. What do you think about no Gundogan as? Is it a bit too brave?
I think it's very risky, to be honest with you. If I were you, I'd be jumping on a Man City defender. I'd actually be jumping on Sterling though, not Gundogan. Yeah. I think this week.
You think?
I think Sterling's the best captaincy option.
All right, let me rephrase then. Who would you take out to bring either of those two in out of that midfield five? That's the problem that I would have.
I think that's the issue with your team, really. Your midfield is so good that it's so hard to take one of them out.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking single week, it would be Son, but obviously you're going to bring in Son straight back in, aren't you?
That's the thing. I don't. I'm not trying not to look too much into value, right? But I hold a lot of value in Son, and if I'm taking him out just to bring him back in the next week, it just seems like a bit of a waste of a transfer to me.
And obviously you've got Rashford. He's a nice little differential this week.
Yeah, I can't be taken out. It's a shame that the fixtures aren't there. It's a shame that Son doesn't have West Brom and Rashford doesn't have because if Rashford had I don't even know, like a Wolves or a West Ham this week, I'd be much happier to just get him gone and bring in Gundogan. But I just can't bring myself to take Rashford out from -4 for Gundogan when he's playing West Brom.
I think if I had your team, I'd do the same. To be honest, I'd keep that midfield and just try and survive without Gundo or Sterling.
Sure, we got 19 people in there now, so guys, keep hitting that like button. We're 6 likes at the moment. Let's get that up to 10 if we can, and don't forget to obviously hit that subscribe button if you're around here. Daily FPL content, as always. You wouldn't bring in a Burnley defender for hit, surely? Yeah, and personally, that's not something I'm looking at bringing in a Burnley defender, but on a free transfer. I don't think for a hit, depending obviously on who you're taking them out for, it's probably not something I'll be doing. Need to start 2 from Soufal, Son, Kane. I hate the idea of not starting Son and Kane, but Soufal's got a nice fixture. Oh dear, I'm gonna leave that one to the.
I'd go Son and Kane.
Yeah,
because the same thing as what you said earlier. I think I'd always lean towards the attackers.
I think as well. There's just such if Soufal returns, right, the likelihood is he'll get 4 points, right? So he's getting 6 points. But then on the flip side to that, if Kane or Son return, they're likely to get up into the kind of 8 or 9 points, and then if Soufal doesn't return, you've got a 7-8 point gap rather than just the 4 point gap you'll get from Soufal. So there's definitely a lot more of an upside to starting Kane and Son. So thoughts on Rafinha? I'm thinking of hopping on him next week. I know Dave, you've got him. What's the thinking behind Rafinha, Dave?
Yeah, well, he's just good.
he's cheap.
I need cheap players really.
Yeah.
Obviously trying to upgrade a bench of 3.9 players. I was trying to get all them so I had to go cheap in midfield, and he's just, for his price, he's just a dream,
Of course, man, of course. I think one that shouldn't be overlooked, and I think a lot of people are overlooking, is actually Harrison for Leeds as well. I think exactly the same price, maybe 0.1 mil more, but he's been returning sort of all season, and loads of people are jumping on Rafinha when Harrison has also been getting the big returns as well. So definitely one to consider. But for the double game week, I think I don't think Rafinha goes into the essential category, but he goes into the kind of it's a very good pick. Are you thinking of bringing in Rafinha as for next week?
Yeah, I think almost certainly. I'm actually wildcard next week. If
you're gonna hit the wild,
then he'll definitely be in the wild. I think so. Yeah, so that's my current
That's
plan.
interesting. So you're actually bench boosting into a wild card rather than wild carding into a bench
way
boost.
Around
That's mad. What would the obviously we haven't got the sort of game week 26 fixtures. So what would you still go for a crack bench, or would you just be then trying to put everything into the first team?
Yeah, I think the main reason I want this bench to get bench boost kind of out the way is that I've got a decent kind of bench at the moment, and if I wildcard next week, I can just bring in a 4 mil keeper and get obviously Martinez, and then just kind of forget about the bench a little bit.
Yeah,
that's my thinking.
I still think I think the way to play it is have cheap. So I think the 3 at the back is basically all I'm seeing at the minute, and is I think the way to go. So you can have the 7 attackers. So if you just have the 3, I think 2 main defenders you want. So like an expensive one, like 1 City or a 2 City, which most people are going for, and then kind of 3 quite cheap, like 4.5 below defenders, and kind of rotate them in and out, and then probably, I don't know, I'd go for maybe 3 playing attackers, and then 5 midfielders, but have one of them be like a Souček or Rafinha, because you get so much more value out of those guys.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Because I want Leeds players, and obviously they don't double in 26, so I can happily just bench my Leeds players in 26. And then obviously bench boost is gone, so I'm happy with that. And then I've got them for 29 as well.
See, the thing is, for 26, I'm looking at taking out Bamford. I've got a lot of value in him, but he'll sit on my bench until game week 29. So I'm just sort of thinking, well, I may as well just bring in like an Ollie Watkins or something who's gonna, potentially smash it from game week 26 to sort of game week 29, and bring Bamford back in basically, even from -4. I think it'd be worth it. Green Arrow coming in with, for now, my wildcard team is Pope, Stones, Cancelo, Shaw, Loughton, Fernandes, Gundo, Mane. Okay, that screams out of me straight away. We'll get your thoughts on that in a sec, as being a Liverpool fan. Watkins, Bamford, Richarlison, benches, Martinez, Son, Dallas, Barnes. Well, firstly, as Mane, what are we saying?
When I saw that, that was the first thing that stood out to me as well, and I actually really like that pick. I think a lot of people are on Salah at the moment.
Yeah,
obviously he's been a bit. He hasn't been performing, as he kind of does normally.
I don't know though. Has he not? I mean, he's blanked a lot. Don't get me wrong, but he scored that brace, which was an unbelievable brace, which shows he's definitely still got it. Scored a pen, which I mean, it's points. And Liverpool just generally haven't looked too great, but I think their fixtures are turning pretty soon.
Yeah, they are. I think 26 and was it 27 and 28 or 26 and 27? They have Sheffield and Fulham, I think.
Sheffield and Fulham,
do have some nice.
I think, to be fair, I think Mane is actually quite a lot cheaper than Salah now. I think he's almost a mil cheaper because of how much Salah's gone up, and then Mane's dropped as well. So he could be more than a mil cheaper. So you like that pick. What about? Has he got triple? He's got triple City with Stones, Cancelo, Gundo. I was going to say maybe like Mane to Sterling for this week. Potentially, could be a big play.
How do you think? What do you think about Richarlison?
That's the thing. I'm like, I put him as a potential replacement, but only because it's the same team, same position sort of thing. If you look at Richarlison when he just hasn't looked that great all season. There's Calvert-Lewin's on 120 points, and I think Richarlison's on like 60. So there's a massive kind of like a golf in points between the two. I'd much rather personally go for like a Danny Ings or someone like that, who we know is going to have a double game next week and has Wolves this week. That looks absolutely fine. What do you think, Dave? Danny Ings?
In terms of Richarlison, by the way, I think he's so overrated.
Yeah.
I don't know. For 7.8 mil, when you look at his past performance in the Prem, I feel like he just has a couple of good games every now and again. Everyone hypes him up.
He's got a really good highlight reel.
But he's playing every single game, or most games for Everton, and he's just getting 2 points every single game.
Yeah.
I guess he did well in the cup, didn't he? But
yeah, he's
not a player I think I'd want in my team for 7.8. No chance.
Yeah, probably a bit of recency bias. People have seen him score in the cup. I mean, every fucker was scoring in that cup game. Like Bernard was scoring, Richarlison was scoring. It was just complete. It was a hell of a watch. It was an entertaining game, but
yeah. I'm not sure about the Lingard hype either.
Yeah,
I feel like I don't know. It might just be a good game. You never know.
It's one of them where it's hype. I'd still much rather go for Souček over Lingard. There's been people saying that Moyes has come out and said that if Antonio's benched, then Lingard will be able to play in the false number 9. So you could take that what you will. I like this one. Jackie Grealish. So this guy says, should I start Maddison or Grealish? I'll get both your thoughts as well straight away on Grealish, because he's a player I've loved owning throughout the season. What are your thoughts on Grealish? Go to Az on this one straight away.
Yeah, I actually haven't owned him at all this season, and it's been a horrible time.
Is it a pain?
Whenever Villa play, it's just painful, really painful.
Yeah, I guess it's like vice versa with Souček, and yeah, you're going to jump on him, are you? Is that a potential wild card?
So, yeah, it could be definitely. His doubles coming up are really nice. I think he plays Leeds and another I think maybe Southampton.
Yeah,
26.
See, I tell you what, that would annoy me if you jumped on him soon, because I've been hanging around for these double game weeks for so long. I'm keeping him. You need to repay me, Jack. I've missed these game weeks. So if you're now, I mean, you're hopping on him, to be fair, when I've got the mil value, but I guess it doesn't really matter because it's the points that count. But yeah, I think Grealish is great for me. Should I start Maddison or Grealish? Maddison, they play Liverpool. I'd definitely be leaning towards Grealish. I think generally looks more likely to return as well. So, Grealish for me. My team is De Gea, Creswell, me, Diaz, Bruno, Gundo, Sterling. Some of these are mouthfuls to read out. So Ward, Prowse, Antonio. It looks like Keegan looks like a very nice teammate. So he's going benches DCL, Rudiger, Dallas, Antonio, or Rafinha. Antonio more likely to score if he starts, but obviously there's that inherent risk. So I guess it's up to you whether you want to take that risk of him starting or not. Obviously Rafinha will start, and it's against the Arsenal side, but they do have Leno and David Luiz returning, and as much stick as David Luiz gets, he does make that side more solid defensively, week in, week out. So yeah, it's one of them where do you want to take the risk of Antonio, because you could definitely score high. Guys, we've got 27 people in here. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Hit that like button. We're currently on 6 likes, so if you don't mind hitting that like button, I really appreciate it. Obviously, hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. I just really appreciate all the support lately. It's been incredible. So thank you for that. Should I start Bamford, Dallas, or Rafinha? Bamford. Go for the attacking player. Bamford's been smashing it recently. What about? Oh, okay. Here's one for you. What do you boys think about Josh King, the Everton boy just coming in? I rate Josh King from the past, like his Bournemouth years, but what do we think about Josh King?
Things all right. I think he needs to kind of prove himself first a bit. Do you know what I mean? Before he'd commit to, I don't know. Yeah,
5.5 million, good price, but is he going to play week in, week out? Probably not. Probably will play the Fulham game because DCL's out, but after that, most likely he's just a bit of bench fodder. Let's move.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. No.
I've not really thought about him at all.
Yeah. It's one of them. It's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. Hi, who should I bring in for Souček? I want him so badly. So you want to sell him badly. I have Bruno, Grealish, Sterling, Barnes. If you've got one free transfer, then I'd go for Gundogan if you can for this game week. Unreal. If not for this week, then Rafinha for the next. That's great. Either Gundogan or Rafinha. Captain James Rodriguez as what we say, and that's a bit rogue, isn't it?
It is. I think he's a very good differential for this week.
Yeah.
But would I captain him? I'm not sure. With the options that we've got this week.
Yeah. We've seen him come back and bang. But I guess, I guess it's very much... is that... Let me read that out. Quasm, it's very much dependent, I guess, on who else you have. I still think I'd prefer, personally, a Bruno over James, a Gundogan, a Sterling, one of those. We've got Mr. Owen Brown, who to transfer in and out with 2 free transfers and plenty of injuries tonight. Oh, mate, I think you were planning, from what I remember of the team, you're planning on going for like a Pope Gundogan sort of thing. Who else? I can't remember. You have to say your team, but I can't remember too much about your team. But I think the Pope. Oh, okay. Here's a question: Are both of you got Pope? Dave, do you have Pope?
Yes.
I know.
I don't have Pope.
You've gone for Martinez. So I guess I'll give you between the us. Is Pope essential for this game week? Because I think he could genuinely smash it. So we'll take the side of Az first, and then Dave, you can play a bit of devil's advocate.
I think essential's a big word.
Yeah,
I don't think he's essential, but I think he's a really good pick for this week.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say he's up there with like one of the best captain choices for this week as well. Yeah. I have been tempted.
Yeah,
mainly because if they keep a clean sheet, he at least gets about 9 or 10 points, which is massive. And you expect him to keep a clean sheet against Palace or Fulham.
That little team drop, that little name drop.
Little name drop. And Palace without Zaha, we know what happens.
Yeah, we know what happens. Palace without Zaha, to be fair. Jean-Philippe Matete, the bowler. Come on, man.
But yeah, so it could be a guaranteed kind of 15-pointer for him.
Yeah.
Definitely take
guaranteed is a strong word, but over to Dave. What are we saying about that?
It's obviously a good shout getting Pope, isn't it? But Martinez has been so good. I just don't want to get rid of him. And I wouldn't want to get them both, like you were saying earlier.
What price did you get Martinez at,
the second keeper?
What price did you bring him?
I've had him for a while. I've had him for weeks. I've not followed the price of him, but I've had him for a good sort of 7-8 weeks, I think.
Just gone up and up in price, to be honest. Like, genuinely, he's like 5.2 now. Potentially even going up to 5.3. So I don't know, but the guy's smashing it, and I think he will end up as the highest scoring keeper this season. Have you got plans?
I'd like to keep one Villa player as well.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, surprised you've not hopped on either, like the sort of Grealish or Ollie Watkins hype either.
I really thought about it when I was wildcarding, but I had Villa a lot last season. I always had him at the times when he'd just do nothing. He'd go for weeks and just being stale. I'd get him out and then he'd come in and just do loads. I just thought, I know he's got good fixtures, but when you look at Villa, they never pop off. You know what I mean? They get like one goal every game.
Yeah.
Whereas you got teams like obviously the Leeds, which will just score 4 goals against a random team.
Yeah, for sure. I'd be going for Bamford over, at least for the next few weeks. I'll be going for maybe that's it. I'm looking at doing a Bamford to Watkins transfer game at 26, so maybe that's something you could do as well. But that's for another time. Opinion on Ashley Barnes captain? I'm just going to straight away say no, thank you. Don't even know if he's going to play both games. Without Chris Wood, their attacking doesn't look as good. He could score. We've seen him play well in the past, but he's not. Has he even scored this season? He might have got a goal. But yeah, Ashley Barnes captain. No, thank you. Jack, what team do you support? I'm a Palace fan, so yeah, the Burnley game. That's going to be a fun watch. To be fair, even though I'm going to bring in a Burnley defender, I will still be very, very happy if Palace score, because it screws over people a lot more than it will me, because Pope is likely to get a lot more points for a clean sheet than like Loughton would. So I think I'd come out of that double game quite happy if Burnley only got 1 clean sheet out of those 2 games. Obviously, preferentially, that would be in the Fulham game. But we'll see how it goes. I'll roll through these comments and then we can get on to some score predictions, boys. Do you know? Yeah, this guy, Patrick Bamford. Have you seen that? Did you see that interview? He's done a couple actually with Patrick Bamford, where he just chats about how he's captained himself on FPL and like he was against Palace. He was kind of annoyed with himself that he missed that one-on-one opportunity. He's like, oh, I've captained myself. I've got to go and score.
Yeah, I saw that. That was funny. Makes me even better FPL pick in some way. If he's trying to score for FPL points too.
If he's constantly, I mean, he's the second highest scoring attacker, so he's smashing it. To be fair to him, he's absolutely smashing it. So thanks for it. Yeah, he wants to see Bamford. Yeah, Keegan wants to see Bamford's team. It'll be interesting to know what kind of like how they actually play it, if you know what I mean. Whether they see Leeds are playing against them, whether they're not just going to go for like any teams that are playing against him or like that sort of thing. I saw Van Aanholt once posted his team, and it was when Palace played United, and he benched all the United players, and we beat them. And he was just saying afterwards, like, everyone told me I was an idiot. Everyone told me I was an idiot before the game. Look at me now. I said, thanks, mate. I get going over. So yeah, you've had a lot of fun with Suchek, haven't you, Az? I think, to be fair to you, you've played him every single game, so you've not really had this kind of like bench curse, because I respect that you've kind of just played him through, whereas I know a lot of people have kind of benched him in the games where he has gone and banged.
Yeah, I think I've only benched him once this season, and that one time I benched him, he did get like 11 points, I think, which is that
was the most recent one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It was a Son or Suchek. Unfortunately, I can't lie. Yeah. When you texted me, you bench Suchek, I was honestly like relieved.
Yeah, like, I texted you before that game week saying I really want to bench Son, but then I just couldn't bench him.
I think it was a fair enough decision. Like, more often than not, Son probably would have punished you, if you know what I mean, for benching.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just the way it worked out, really. Thoughts on Cancelo captain? Not for me personally. Has been first game was against Spurs, and they could concede it. They lost 2-0 against Spurs in the reverse fixture. Obviously, the teams are very much on kind of different form at the minute than they were. But with Kane and Son, anything can happen. Also, we don't know whether Cancelo is definitely going to start both games with Pep Roulette. You could get some kind of attacking return. But for me, just generally a defender as well, it's not for me. 2 minutes before, I need to make a transfer. Who is the best Palace player to have? Jeez, none of them. I don't. Jeez, I mean, I would have gone for I brought in Van Aanholt, as you can see in my team there myself. Not got a Scooby if he's going to start this week. Literally, Mitchell and Van Aanholt is like a 50 after that game. Like, we were terrible against Leeds. I would say Zaha. He's obviously injured. Eze's been looking okay of late, but I still don't think he's going to get that many attacking returns. Probably like Guaita is the only player who's actually like could potentially get you decent points in the coming game weeks. The only one I would lean towards having, but I think there are better goalkeepers out there. Just stay away from Palace is basically the answer. But yeah, boys, we're gonna get into the old babbling buffoon section. So we got 20 plus people in here. So we're gonna roll through some sort of score predictions, and let us know down in the comments what you guys think, whether we're complete morons for what the predictions, or maybe we know a thing or two. So starting off with Leicester Liverpool, we're gonna go to our resident Liverpool fan, no bias at all, Mr. Aaron Mafari. What are you saying?
So I think Leicester are going to play out, and that will be perfect for us. I think we're going to win 3-1. I'm going to go for.
Yeah, Salah getting on the score.
Also, I mean, I think so. I expect so.
Mm-hmm.
It's very sad that Justin obviously had that long-term injury as well today. But
I feel for Justin, man. He really. I would have backed him to get an England spot, to be honest. He's been absolutely smashing.
He's been insane this season. It's crazy.
Feel for the guy. Good.
It does mean that he won't be defending Salah, which is good.
And I mean, they don't have fullbacks as well, I don't think. I don't know if Pereira,
but I think Castagna, they might have to rush him back, which is not good for them.
But I'm not sure, because I think Thomas might play in this game, and I mean, Salah would rinse the hell out of him, surely. You'd think anyway.
Think so.
So I was actually genuinely debating captaining Salah. I think Bruno is just too. Against West Brom is like, it just looks too good to miss. But Salah's one I contemplated for sure. So what score are we going for, guys? Get your score predictions down in the comments. Let's see what you're saying. Leicester v Liverpool. What are you saying? As 3-1.
Yeah, I'm going 3-1 Liverpool.
Dave, what are you saying?
I think there'll be goals as well. I think Liverpool will take it though still, just because Liverpool, aren't they? No matter how bad they've been playing recently. I think I'm going to go 3-2. I think there'll be more goals.
3-2. You know what? I'm gonna agree with you, Dave. I think with Vardy back, I think Leicester have got a few more goals in them, and with how Liverpool have been defending, that's one thing actually. Do you think that one of the new centre back boys is going to come in as?
Yeah, I think you have to. I think Fabinho was ruled out.
Yeah, Fabinho's out.
So it's either going to be Hendo and Kabak, or Kabak and Davies, and Hendo will play in midfield. Yeah, so I'm excited to see them play. Actually,
yeah, it's fair. We've got a couple. Yeah, we've got 3-1 Liverpool, 2-1 Liverpool, 3-2 Liverpool. I'm guessing that's 3-2 Liverpool. So that comes in quickly. I think Son or Wan-Bissaka to play. That's really tough because Wan-Bissaka's got a really, really good fixture. I tend to lean towards the attacking player, but that's a tough one, mate. I was about to say flip a coin. This guy says I think it will be a 2-2 draw. I could see that happening with Leicester have been good of late, and they're obviously still going for Champions League, and yeah, that definitely could happen. Palace Burnley, right? Dave, hit me.
I mean, I've got to respect the host. I've got to go 4-0 Palace. I think that's likely.
You do not have to respect the host at all, Dave. You can crush. People crushing me all the time. So go with what your heart tells you.
Nah, for real though, I do think Palace got a good chance. Okay, maybe I don't know, 1-0 Palace then.
Okay, I think 1-0 was a lot more respectable. A lot more respectable. What are you saying, Az?
I'm going same result, but the other way around. I think 1-0 Burnley. I really hope Burnley keep a clean sheet.
It's one of those games, isn't it, where it's going to be a 1-0 either way. I'll be like even though I'm going to be a Loughton owner, I'll be over the moon with a 1-0 because 1-0 Palace, because I still think that like would be a better result. I mean, even a 2-0, get the -1 point in now. I'm not even too bad. But we've got some 1-1s coming in there. I've seen a lot of 1-1s predicted on the BBC. Mark Lawrenson, who does the BBC Sport predictions. Both, I can't remember who his guest was, but both of them predicted this game as 1-1. Even though I do like when he predicts us to lose because we tend to win. So it's kind of, but a draw is very much middle ground. I'm gonna agree with you there, Dave. We got a majority here, so majority wins. 1-0 Palace.
Last match of the day.
Yeah,
I agree.
That is if you could put a bet on that, I'd definitely be putting a bet on that. Although you probably get pretty poor odds, to be honest. But Vega coming in 1-1 Palace. Keegan 1-0 Burnley. Ben Mee header. By any chance do you own Ben Mee then? Sean Dyche masterclass. 90th minute Barnes winner. God, that would kill me. That would genuinely kill me. That's the thing. If Burnley are going to keep a clean sheet, then they could at least do me the favour of not scoring. That'd be nice. Then that'll probably mean Pope gets more points, but oh well. Palace get a point, moving to the 30 marker, and we're done. Man City Spurs. That is what you would say is the crunch game, the big game for the week. As well, what are we saying? Big game.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I actually completely forgot that Spurs beat them in the reverse fixture until you mentioned it a bit earlier. I
not comfortable win, but a win nonetheless.
I think City are just in too good of form at the moment. I can see City winning 2-0. It's the same result, but
2-0. Yeah, just the reverse way round. Who's getting on the score sheet though? That's the thing. There's so many City players. I think Foden is getting on there. One that I potentially looked at.
Yeah, he was rested as well, wasn't he? I think in the
FA Cup
game. So
with Stones, Cancelo, and Diaz.
Foden this week. Yeah.
Dave,
what do you think?
Well, yeah. I don't really know either way because I don't mind Spurs nicking a goal, but then I'll have the 2 City defenders, so I also don't mind a clean sheet for City. I'd like a pretty dull affair with just... I mean, I'll take a 0-0, but I don't think it'll be 0-0. I think it'll be 1-0 City. With the way Mourinho plays, it's just going to be a part of the bus. 0-0 drab game. 1-0. Let's have a bit of fun with Cancelo, please. No Gundogan, thank you very much. Yeah, Dave, what are we saying?
I actually think it will be 0-0. I think it's just one of those games which on paper it looks like it'll be so much fun, like loads of the two top teams.
Yeah,
and like you say, Mourinho is just gonna just slow it down. It's just gonna be one of those ones that you're sat watching it thinking this was supposed to be special, and it's just passing it about, isn't it?
Yeah, just 2 teams going side to side. It's going to be one of those games where Sky absolutely gasses it up, and then absolute nada happens.
I mean, it could be 3-3. It could be a big score. Who knows? But
it's one of them. It was like the Liverpool game. As soon as one goal went in, the game just had life. If you know what I mean. There was just so much life after that first goal. Even to be fair, after the penalty miss, I think it kind of spurred Liverpool on a little bit more. But then at the same time, it also spurred Man City on even more because they were like, can't be fucking this up. A bit ahead of a game that was. We've got a 4-0 coming in for Keegan. Mourinho double incoming. Son and Kane on the score treat. Diaz hat-trick. I mean, I don't mind. I wouldn't mind a Diaz hat-trick. I wouldn't say no to that. Brighton Villa. Go on, Dave. Kick us off.
Well, Villa ain't going to score more than 1 goal. So I'll go 1-1 probably.
1-1. That's fair. As I know you'll have plenty of hopes for this game that Villa probably won't do much. So what are you thinking?
Yeah, you know what, that's true. I think 2-0 Villa. I think Brighton have been quite solid defensively, but Villa going forward is just too good at the moment.
Yeah.
Expect a 2-0.
I think I'm going to agree with that also, but I think it will be also dependent on Webster, whether he plays. He's been quite a key part to that defence. We could... Apparently Lamptey's on not for this week, but he's on the cards to come back pretty soon. So one to watch out for. Even though a very big kind of injury risk, but I mean they've not been needing him from a defensive point. Veltman, as soon as I brought in Veltman, right, benched every week or most weeks, taking about half time. Take him out. All of a sudden, Brighton going on absolute madness. He's starting every week. Why is he not starting before? He played for Ajax, for God's sake. And now he's absolutely smashing it. But Brighton look very, very solid defensively. But if Webster doesn't play, then I think Villa will score a few goals. I'm going to 3-0 Villa. Grealish inject that to me. Thank you very much. Let's quickly hover over this. Green Arrow saying he's got a new wild card. Pope, Shaw, Loughton, Cancelo, Fernandes, Gundo, Sterling, Watkins, Son, Cavani, Bamford, Bench, Martinez, Ben Davies. Is that the Liverpool Ben Davies? I don't personally know whether I'd be hopping on the Liverpool Ben Davies just yet. If that's the Spurs one, I think Reguilon's been ruled out for a while, so I don't necessarily mind that for the coming weeks. But I definitely hold out on the Liverpool one for a little bit. But other than that, I think it's looking like a nice. I like the double City, the Watkins, Son, Cavani, it's all looking nice for the coming game weeks. Pope Martinez is a very, very expensive double at the back, and I don't know if you own both, don't you? Do they clash in many weeks in terms of would you want to play one in 1 week or play both of them in the same week sort of thing, or do they rotate pretty well?
I think in the short term they do kind of. So this week, obviously, Pope has that double, and then Martinez also has Brighton away, which you expect a clean sheet there.
Yeah.
But then, to be honest, after this week, I think Pope plays West Brom, but after that, I think I'd look to get rid of him because his fixtures turn a bit difficult.
Yeah.
And obviously, their double is not going to be the best double in the world. So, and they won't play 29.
Yeah.
But I think there's better rotating keepers out there for sure. But I think Pope for this week is obviously not a bad pick at all.
Yeah, for sure. 2-1 Villa. We've got Brighton 2-1 2-1. Brighton 2-1 winning. Sanjay coming in with BLM. Yeah, of course, man. Like, what's been happening on Twitter recently has been like genuinely disgusting. Like, yeah, no room for racism in football or generally, to be honest. 1-1 Target goal incoming. Target could be one going under the radar a little bit, to be honest. Obviously, I think it's hard for owners of, I think all three of us, owners of Martinez, to kind of bring in a player like Target, because we own Martinez, and those like other two Aston Villa attacking spots are so kind of key, I think, going forward. But Target could be a very, very good pick. What else have we got? Can someone tell me? We should keep Antonio. First option bench is David. Oh, Davis from Spurs. Yeah, that could be a decent one. Davis from Spurs, for sure, man. I think with Reguilón out, Spurs are very. I've been very frustrated owning Dyer. It's so frustrating. And then they go and keep a clean sheet. In the West Brom game, Davies could be a good pick with Reguilón out, but yeah, Pope will go to a cheaper double game week after. Okay, yeah, that's completely fair. Yeah, rotate Pope out. Maybe like someone like Meslier, maybe for the game at 25, or we'll see when the game at 26 fixtures get released. Southampton Wolves. I'll start this one off. I think Southampton will win this game. I think they looked very good in the second half of the Newcastle game. Obviously, of late, they've not been very good at all with the 9-0 thrashing. But yeah, I think they've looked good. So I'm going to go with 2-1 Southampton. What do you boys think? We'll go to Dave.
I completely agree. That Southampton will win it. Because I know they've had a horrible defensive time recently.
Yeah.
But Wolves haven't really scored many goals either. So it's definitely a good game for them to start trying to solid practice their defence sorted. So I'll probably go with 2-0 Southampton, I think.
As?
Similar, I think 2-0 too.
Yep. 2-0, so no Wolves.
No, I think Danny Ings. I think after this week, Danny Ings might be a big like. I think people might start considering him a lot more.
One that I really want to bring in, but I just don't think, if I want Kane in my team and I want Watkins, and I think Watkins and Kane are the two I really, really want in my team, there's no room for Danny Ings. There's no room for Big Danny. It's a sad sight because I really like Danny. But there's no room for Danny, guys. There are 25 people in here, so we're currently on 8 likes. So if you don't mind hitting that like button, I really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. Daily FPL content. We'll be doing I'll be doing a live deadline live stream. I don't know if either of you two are about, but I'll be doing one tomorrow morning at probably just before 10, because probably about 9:45 tomorrow. Because it is a massive game week, so I'll do one a little bit earlier than normal. But yeah, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that alert button so you can tell when we go live. So we kind of agreed on the sort of Southampton win for that game. West Brom United. Dave. West Bromwich Albion. The boys.
So I think this has to be the game of West Brom turning around. Man United are going to underestimate them. They're going to miss Diagne. Man United, they're going to think, it's not even a threat. And then, Diagne hat-trick's coming in. Obviously, Man U will bang a few in as well. I'm going to go 3-2 West Brom.
Yeah, 3-2 West Brom. Oof. That's bold. That is bold. Even though they did have, in the reverse game, I'm pretty sure there was a lot of VAR controversy where there was like a penalty that shouldn't have been a penalty, and then the goal got disallowed for West Brom that shouldn't. There was a lot that should have gone West Brom's way that didn't in that game. What do you think?
Just unlucky.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish West Brom could be United here. That'd be amazing. But I can only see United winning 2-3-4-0, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Because
this game's perfect for United. They're away against the worst team in the league.
Yeah, and that's the thing, that the fact that it's away as well makes you think that that makes me think West Brom will kind of play out a little bit more. So I think that Man United's going to play through them. I've got Rashford and what's his face, and Bruno captain. So I'm really hoping for Man United to absolutely smash it. We've got quite a few comments coming in, so let's roll through these. Guys, get your predictions in for the games. We're on the Man United West Brom game at the minute. Is Justin injured yet? He's done something in his ACL, out for the season, unfortunately. DCL to Richarlison for a -4. Depends who's on your bench, whether you've got a playing player. For a -4, like I don't really like it, but I mean, yeah, because DCL has really good fixtures like going forward after that. Come 26, he should do. Not really for me for -4, but obviously if you've got no one on your bench to come in, then maybe it's worth it. Pick 2 up: Son, Kane, Maguire, Bamford. Jeez, that's tough, man. I'm leaning towards Kane and Bamford. I really don't like benching Son, but Bamford as an attacker has been so good of late. It would be between Son, Kane and Bamford for me. I know Maguire's got a good fixture, but I like playing the attacker. No, Maguire's got West Brom though. That's really tough, man. That is genuinely so tough. That's like a fifth, or a 25. Prasham says, hello, how you doing, fella? Keegan coming at 4-3 Man United. He does not want that clean sheet from Man U. He wants that -point there. Mezia at the moment, but I feel like Dallas is better to have for the double game week. What do you think? I mean, my plan is to bring in Mezia for the double game week, but there are sort of many other reasons as well, because I need to free up that Aston Villa spot, and I'll also be keeping him for the game week 29. But I think Dallas is kind of the better pick than Mezia because of the attacking returns. But then, Mezia's got some save points and stuff and could get some bonus points, so it could be all right. DCL is injured. Yes, he's out, but just probably for the Fulham game. 7-1 to United. So the geezer really wants United to bang, but doesn't want them to have a clean sheet. 4-0 to West Brom. Okay, interesting. I mean, if that happens, wow. Peter Son. Yeah. Rodrigo, I hope I've just kind of answered that if I can for you. It's a really tough choice. Like, I lean towards the attackers, but obviously Maguire's got really good fixtures. But yeah, as coming with a bench boost. You know what? Not a bad shout, fella. Not a bad shout. What do you think behind that as the bench boost for that team then?
I think if he's going to bench, it's like, let's say, Son and Maguire.
Yeah.
I think that's such a difficult decision that you could definitely think about bench boosting a team with a bench like that, as long as obviously the two bench players are good enough.
That's the thing. People are targeting the double game week so much that when you have a good bench for a single game week, it's not a bad idea at all to hit that bench boost.
Exactly, yeah. It's nice getting out of the way sometimes. The
only thing I say about it, that's the thing. I'm saying I want to start Son, but then it's so hard with Son and Kane, because any other week you'd be like, oh yeah, play them or even potentially bench boost them. But because it's against City, it's just so like they've scored against them before, but it's going to be a hard fixture for them.
Yeah, exactly.
After here, but he will make a mistake of a Pereira shot. I mean, I don't. Do I think West Brom will score? Probably not, but they could. For Dave and Diagne. I mean, you've got Diagne bench, so you probably don't want him scoring. That'd be a pain, wouldn't it? You bench him, and then he goes and bangs. Let's go roll through a few more. Arsenal Leeds. Dave, go on. Kick us off with this one.
I'm Team Leeds here, I think.
Team Leeds.
Leeds are, they're neck and neck with Arsenal on the table. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Arsenal are the classically bigger team. They're going to be nervous. Leeds are Leeds, aren't they? And Arsenal
Leeds are, in fact, Leeds, yeah.
I'm going to go 3-1 Leeds.
3-1, high scoring, as come in.
This is a good little mid-table battle, this, actually.
Very good mid-table battle.
I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1, so no high scoring.
Aubameyang starts.
Who's scoring for who?
No, yeah, I think it might be tough. Good question.
Are we hoping Bamford scores or
for Leeds? You've got to be Bamford, yeah.
Got to be Patty Lee, the fraud, Lord Fraud.
Hopefully Dallas doesn't get involved this time. Very sad last week.
That'd be nice. It was one of the. It was just like one of them where he just knocked it off to him, and then the geezer shot deflected in. It's just like, come on, man, Come on, man. You could be doing better than that. Yeah, I'm actually going to go for an Arsenal win here. I think there's a lot of hype around Leeds. Obviously, I think Leeds will score. You know what? I'm going 2-2. I'm going 2-2. I don't know how much about Arsenal, but I don't think Arsenal will lose this game, to be honest. But I do think there are goals in it. If Aubameyang starts, as you said, like especially if he plays through the middle, Leeds, the stats, like that's why I got so annoyed watching the Palace game. Stick Eze through the middle. The stats from like if you just go straight at Leeds, they concede so many goals. Just I don't know if because there's less men back or just the centre back isn't very good. But if you just go straight at them down the middle, they just concede. Everton Fulham. I'll kick this one off. I think it's going to be a pretty dry affair with no DCL. I think Everton will nick it 1-0. But they'll find it hard to do so against a Fulham side that's been defending quite well. Dave, what are you saying?
I agree. I think 1-0 Everton. I think Fulham have been pretty solid defensively, like recently.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not that solid, but I think they will be. I think Everton are a bit going forward now, especially without DCL as well. Bringing in King, new signing, will he perform?
Yeah, for sure, man.
I think 1-0 Everton's a good shout.
Guys, there are 37 of you in here. This is absolutely 38. Unbelievable, guys. Please don't forget to hit that like button. Currently on 12. If you can push that up to 15, I'd really, really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. Then daily FPL content. I'm just, love the streams. We'll be doing one at the deadline tomorrow at 10:15. But yeah, get your comments, get your predictions in down below. We've got a couple of 4-2 leads, 4-3 leads. So big high scoring games in this one. Guy says me or Cancelo. I'm leaning towards me, but Cancelo has a much higher kind of much higher ceiling. So if he plays both games, he could get some kind of attacking returns, and all of a sudden you're absolutely flying. Arsenal will have no chance. It's 3-0 to Bielsa, the horny tactician, the big man himself. Son or Sufal leaning towards the attacker there with Son. But it's a tough choice, but I lean towards Son. Bamford hat-trick. I mean, if he captains himself and gets a hat-trick, fair play to the geezer. Man of thumb is to usually lean towards the attacker. Yep, I completely agree. Calvert-Lewin might be injured. Yeah, I think the confirmation we got from Ancelotti today in the press conference was that DCL is likely to be out, or all but confirmed out for the Fulham game, but likely to be back for the Man City game. So we're getting through the fixtures here. 4 left, and then we'll probably call it a night. West Ham, Sheffield. Dave, are you still with us?
Yes. I think I might have lagged it after the last one.
Fair, yeah. No
West Ham. I'm not really sure, to be honest. It's a tough one to call. I'll probably go with a draw, I think, actually.
Ooh.
Probably go for a 1-1.
A 1-1. As brings you around, we've got Antonio and Souček. And Sufal.
I'm gonna have 3 West Ham players. I'm praying for a 4-5-0 here.
4-5. Wow, you're brave, mate. Souček. The thing is, this is the last week for a long time that I've got to worry about Souček, because even if he does anything in the coming game weeks, no one's playing him, so it doesn't really matter.
Exactly. This is my farewell to all my West Ham players. They've given me such good points over these last kind of 5-6 weeks.
Yeah, that's very true, man.
I want to end it on a high.
Yeah.
West Ham 4-0.
I'd rather not. I think it's very dependent. If Antonio gets the go ahead, if he plays against Sheffield, then I see. I'm not going to go 4-5. I'm more around the kind of region of 2-3. I'll go 2-0. Let's see another Jesse Lingard brace. Please. please Jesse, please. I see what comments saying. Anyone else coming in? The next game we've got Chelsea Newcastle. Chelsea have been playing quite well recently. I think they will get a clean sheet with I don't know if you guys have heard, but Wilson has been ruled out, I think, almost until the end of the season. It's like 6 to 8 weeks with a hamstring injury. He's out for, so without Wilson, I think Newcastle are going to really struggle and could really be dragged back down to the relegation battle. So I think they're going to lose this one. I think it's going to be a simple 2-0. Potentially, could we see Timo Werner nab a goal? this is the game to do it if he's going to do it. As what do you think?
I actually completely forgot that Wilson was injured for the whole season. Well, that's crazy. It's sad news, actually.
Yeah, he's been so good for them as well.
He has. I'm gonna agree with you. I think Chelsea are gonna comfortably win this one, 2-3-0. I really like the look of Alonso as an FPL pick. So I'm praying he kind of starts getting a.
The thing is, it's so hard
game every week. I'm definitely bringing
so
him.
good as well. Like they're both really good players. So if Alonso I think for me he'd have to get a period of like 5 or 6 games in a row before I'd consider him as like a proper FPL asset. If he's just this rotation risk, then I mean he's been so good in the past, but yeah, Dave, what do you think? Chelsea, Newcastle.
I think Chelsea will slap them. I reckon like 3-4-0.
3-4.
I think next week you'll be talking about Burner. You'll be talking about bringing him in.
Talking about bringing Burner in, really. Fair. I mean, he's been. To be fair, if you get to return in this game, he'll have had kind of 3 or 4 consecutive weeks of returns because he got 2 assists in the last week, an assist for the week before. Maybe I don't know if he got an assist the week before that, but if he gets a return in this game against Newcastle, then all of a sudden he's looking a little bit consistent, which are mad. But I've heard a comparison which I think is fair. Could he be? I think could be very much of a Bobby Firmino, where good player, but he's just not. He just doesn't quite do it as often as you'd want for the price he's at. If you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
I'm having none of that. Firmino's an absolute baller.
Yeah, but as an FPL asset, mate, you've never brought him in, so calm down.
Yeah, I'll give you that. As an FPL asset,
that's what I'm telling. I'm not saying. Bobby's not a baller. I'm just saying, as an FPL asset, he's not quite there.
Yeah, I think it's so many like cheap striker options.
If it was basketball and you get the pass to the assist, then it'd be class. But he's not getting the assist or the goals really, not consistently enough for the price anyway.
It's just the goals, isn't it? It's the goals.
Is Antonio?
He's gonna go crazy. I'm telling you.
Timo's
He's gonna be on the next thumbnail. The next thumbnail of Jabba T's next video.
We'll see. Yeah. And if he gets a brace, I'll do that for you, Dave. If he gets a brace. Is Antonio injured? He kind of signalled to the bench in the previous game that it's time for me to come off now. But the degree to the injury is not really too sure. Moyes is kind of very vague, so he may or may not play. Basically, is what we know right now. Keegan going 3-0 to the Toon. I'm pretty sure you're a Newcastle fan, Keegan. I've heard that. So 3-0 to the Toon. Maybe a little bit of bias in there, but if it happens, fair play. Captain Cancelo or Bruno? Bruno. Don't really need to think too hard about that. That's where I stand. Cancelo may not even play both games. Could return, could haul, but I think Bruno gets West Brom. Mad is Lewis Dunk, a good differential centre back option. Yeah, I mean, I don't like Brighton, but yeah, he's Brighton have been playing so well of late, keeping clean sheets against whoever, Liverpool, Spurs. He scored a goal the last week, and especially for the blank game week 29, I don't think Brighton aren't going to have any double game weeks coming up, so that's maybe a reason to potentially steer away from them. But for that blank game week 29, a double, even triple up on Brighton assets with no Wilson going forward could be pretty mad, but that's looking very, very far forward. But Dunk, it looks like a decent option. Right, 2 more games. Burnley, Fulham. David, hit me.
I mean, I know you guys will probably disagree with this, but I think Fulham will win it. You
reckon?
I think it's a game they've actually got a decent chance in. I'm going to go 1-0 Fulham.
1-0 Fulham. You know what? I don't mind that. I don't mind it. I don't love it, but I don't mind it. What are you saying?
I do think this is a game where Burnley probably won't keep the clean sheet that we're all hoping for.
Out of the 2, really?
Yeah, I can see Fulham scoring, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think maybe 1-1. Boring
1-1.
game.
1-1 that game.
I wouldn't watch this week.
I don't mind. I think this is the game that they do keep the clean sheet, and I'm going to go with. How about that? I'm going to go with 0-0. Standard procedure. with
That's a hopeful man.
You know what?
Because this was the game I was thinking of bringing in Anthony Robinson from Fulham, because not bad double game week this week, especially with no DCL for that game. I can see them potentially keeping a clean sheet. Maybe convincing myself to bring him in right now. And then they played Burnley, as you guys said, like 1-0, and he's attacking. But yeah, I think 0-0 for this game. Fulham have defended well, but it is Burnley, and these kind of games they tend to keep it tight. If they're going to concede, it'll be 1 goal. So yeah, the 1-1's completely fair, I think. Tight game. I'm going to go for 0-0. A few more comments. Right, let's bring up the final. Everton City to finish us off. DCL back, so could see Everton scoring. I go for a 3-1 City here. What do you boys think?
Go on, Az.
I'm going to go for a 3-0 City. I just can't see City. I think City are just too good at the moment. I can see them keeping a clean sheet again.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just what I'm hoping for. Mm-hmm. But I think Everton are so leaky as well at the back. Mm-hmm. See, they had that crazy game the other day, 5-4 with Spurs.
Yeah, that's true actually. And they played 120 minutes as well, didn't they?
Yeah,
or some players did, which is why the Fulham fixture may not be as good as some people. Some people kind of think, oh man, I'm convincing myself to get Anthony.
Remember what happened with Tete?
Jesus, yeah. Can't be.
You got a clean sheet, to be fair. You got a clean sheet.
I got a clean sheet, yeah. I mean, I was happy with that. And then who does you get benched to bench? And bloody West Brom, God. And then he goes and keeps a clean sheet to get 3 bonus points against West Ham. That man, what are you playing at?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can agree with that. Dave, what are you saying? Final prediction. Get it in.
Yeah, I said 0-0 for the first Man City game. This one, I think, is where they're gonna. I think this is where Gundo gets us the points we're after. So,
no, thank you.
I think it'll be a classic Man City 5-0. The team just gives up.
What I'm thinking is, I'm reckoning Gundo Blank's first game gets benched for the second. That's kind of my thinking.
No.
Just silence. That is just complete disagreement. Captain Pope, it's potential. There's good potential. Could easily get clean sheets to anything about Diaz illness. He's been for Diaz. He's been confirmed trained today. So he'll if he's trained today, he'll play tomorrow. So yeah, I think so. He'll on a joke 3-0, 2-1 to Fulham. Yeah, could very well be. What's my team looking like at the minute? I'll bring it up. Haven't made my transfers for this week. The current transfer plan is Dyer and Van Aanholt to Diaz and Loughton. I'm pretty set on it, unless I have a last-minute moment of madness. Probably won't, but as I've been set on it for such a long time, I think I'm just going to stick to my rule of thumb of just, stick with what I'm doing, basically. Don't pull out any madness and bring in Anton Robinson or whatever. Foden or Cancelo. One game week punt. Foden, but longer term Cancelo looks great. Captain Sterling. Yep. Here's the simple answer to that. I think Foden. To be fair, I can see Foden and Cancelo both kind of not playing both game weeks. Cancelo probably more likely to play the both of them. But Foden's been smashing it lately. I mean, he scored. Did he get 2 assists in the Liverpool game? I know he got 1. He got a goal and an assist at least. He might have got 2 assists. Loughton or Wan-Bissaka. Tough choice, that. Tough choice. Wan-Bissaka, obviously, against West Brom. More attacking returns, but then Loughton's got the double game week, so I probably lean towards the double game week player. But it's a tough one. Why are you starting DCL? This is just kind of how my team looks at the minute. DCL will be on the bench. And the players that I bring in, Loughton and Diaz, will start over DCL. This is just how my team sort of lines up at this point in time. But we've gone for quite a long time, boys. thank you very much for joining me. I think I'm gonna wrap the stream up there, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're around here. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, it's been a madness on the stream today. I didn't think we'd get this many people, but I really appreciated all the support. So I say thank you, Dave, for joining me as your debut appearance.
Thank you.
You absolutely smashed it, fella.
It was good fun.
Yeah. And thank you very much as well, fella. It's been good having you.
Thanks very much for having me. It's been good.
Anytime, mate. Anytime. And I'd also say I will be streaming tomorrow morning. But good luck, everyone, for the coming game week. And we'll catch you in a bit. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button on the way out and the like button. Almost at 15 likes. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining. And we'll catch you soon. See ya. This